Welcome to the Pampered Thoughts podcast, where we are inspiring and encouraging women to love themselves as they are without shame or guilt, focusing on topics such as self-love, marriage and family, balance in life and business, and all things woman. Every week, we'll share inspirational topics that focus on helping you to overcome your struggles and limitations with lack of identity, low self-esteem, self-love, confidence, and so much more. I'm your host, Veronica, a wife, mom, speaker, entrepreneur, and more importantly, a daughter of the King. Hey, y'all. Welcome to today's episode of the Pampered Thoughts podcast. I'm your host, Veronica, and I am so glad you all have tuned in today. If you are new to the podcast, thank you so much for tuning in. Welcome. And if you have been here every week, every Thursday, listening to me talk and encourage, thank you so much for tuning in again. I appreciate and adore each and every one of you. I hope that you all are having a grand week, a pampered week. I hope that your week has been a blessed one. Today, I wanted to talk about how to stay content in your life. The Father has been dealing with me this week about contentment and just resting in Him and being in His presence. And I wanted to share what came to me in regards to how to stay content in your life. With so much going on in the world today, so much chaos, so much concern, so much that can take your mind off. And especially if you're looking at social media, there's so many things that people are dealing with where they see someone's life and they just think that their life is just the best thing since sliced bread. And that's not always the case. And sometimes we can get restless in what we're dealing with in our life. You can get in a place of discontentment where you feel like your life is not measuring up to what you want it to be or what other people think your life should be. And it causes you to desire what may look greener on the other side, which we know that the grass is not always greener on the other side. And looking at being content and finding contentment in your life, contentment is a state of mind. It's a mindset. And you have to get to a place in your life. If you're feeling any type of discontentment and you're feeling like you may see someone whose life who you think is going well and your life is not going well right now, but you desire that your life go well and you desire that what you're going through to not be what it is, I just want to encourage you today to find contentment. And I want to give 4 tips to help with finding contentment in your life and being positive in your life, no matter what the circumstances are. Because one thing about contentment is when you are content, your external circumstances do not dictate how you feel. They do not dictate your reaction to your life. No matter what the situation may be, no matter what you may be going through, when you are content in your life, your external circumstances will not affect that. So my first tip for staying content in your life is number 1, to walk in your purpose. When you know your purpose, you're satisfied in knowing that you're doing exactly what you were put here for. True, I know that it's easier said than done because I went through a time trying to find my purpose, and I'm sure there are a lot of other people who are trying to find their purpose. You can search online and you'll see there's so many suggestions that show how to find your purpose in life. How do I know I'm living out my purpose? How can I be more purposeful in life? And so it's easier said than done. But one thing about knowing and walking in your purpose, when you know that you're walking in your purpose and you're staying in your lane, it's going to keep you busy. It's going to keep you focused on who you're called to serve. And it leaves no room for you to walk around aimlessly in discontentment. If you do not know your purpose, seek the Father, because ultimately He is the one that created us. He knows our inside and our outside, and your purpose is ingrained in your DNA, your character, your personality, everything that you are made up of is where your purpose is. You don't have to find your purpose. You just have to uncover your purpose, because your purpose is within you. You can look through your life from a child all the way up to now. There are some things that you may have done that people may have thought that you were quirky or weird or whatever the case may be. You may have even thought that about yourself, but everything leading up to where you are now has been because it is a part of your purpose. Every job that you may have had, every skill that you may have learned, every situation that you may have found yourself in is because it is a part of your purpose. So the first tip to staying content in your life is to walk in your purpose.
Like what you've heard so far? Great. Make sure you never miss a show by clicking the subscribe button now. This podcast is made possible by listeners like you. Thank you so much for your support. Now back to the show.
And if you don't know what your purpose is, pray and ask the Father, because that's how we learn what our purpose is. That's how we begin to walk in our purpose, because He guides us and He directs us where we need to go and what we need to do in order to fulfill our purpose. The second tip is to begin to change your mindset. Change your mindset, because contentment is a mindset. If your mind is constantly focused on the negative or the coulda, woulda, shouldas, then you're going to forever be in a constant state of not being satisfied with your life. You're going to always look at someone's life as more better than yours, or someone else is more successful than you, or they're succeeding in prospering more than you. You're going to always see someone that's living a better life than you, because you're comparing your life with theirs. And now you're looking at your life as not being successful, not being prosperous, not moving forward or being fulfilled, because you have looked at the negative side of what your life is. So you need to begin to change your mindset. Start renewing your mind daily to focus on the positive, and be intentional about becoming more aware of the good that's happening in your life right now in the present. If you become more aware of what's happening in your life that is good, you have a blessed family, you have a husband, you have children that are all doing great, that are all healthy, they're all living their life and being beneficial in this world. These are things that you can look at that are good things. So begin to renew your mind, change your mindset about what you see about your life. Begin to renew your mind daily, because it is a daily process. Sometimes people go through things, and if they're not renewing their mind, they're going to begin to constantly look at the things that are negative. If you constantly look at the things that are negative, you're going to always see negative. Whatever you focus on the most, whatever you focus on intently, is what's going to appear bigger in your life. And it's going to cause you to be discontented. It's going to cause you to feel depressed, to not feel good. It's going to cause you to be negative. So begin to change your mindset to think more positive, so that you can start to work on being content, because contentment is a mindset. So another thing, which is tip 3, is change what you don't like. If there's something about your life that you don't like, and it's something that you can control, because remember we talked about in one of the previous episodes, you can only control what you can control. And if it's something that you can control, then by all means, make the necessary preparations to change it. Whatever that is for you, whether it's physical, emotional, spiritual, maybe you want to lose weight. That's something that you can control. That's something that you can change. Maybe you want to gain weight. That's something that you can work on. Maybe there's a class that you want to take, or you want to learn a new skill because you feel like maybe you're lacking in a certain area. That's something that you can work on. You want to be a more positive person. Whatever it is that you don't like about your life, begin to work on it. That's physical, emotional, spiritual. if you feel like your relationship with God is not right now, or you're struggling in your relationship with God, work on that. That's something that you can control. Begin to read your Bible daily. Begin to pray daily. First and foremost, ask Him to help you. Ask Him to help your relationship to grow stronger in Him, and He will do it. So these are things that you can absolutely control and that you can absolutely change. And if you don't like what you see, or if you don't like what it is that you're going through, find the way to target whatever that area is of your life that you're dissatisfied with, and you create a plan of change for that area and begin to work on that plan. Begin to make the necessary changes that you need to in order to be able to do that. And so my last and final step is to find something to be grateful for. That always works. When you can find things to be grateful for, it gives you less opportunity to dwell on what you don't have. We can sometimes take for granted the things that seem small or minute to us, but think about this. Imagine if you wake up one morning and you can't see. Imagine you can't speak. Imagine you can't hear. These are things that we need to be grateful for. They may seem small, they may be minute because we use our five senses every day. We don't have to think about using them. It just happens and it just works. But imagine if you woke up without it. How grateful would you be today to have it? So you can easily find some things to be grateful for. And if you need help with trying to remember that, get you a journal. And in the morning when you wake up or before you go to bed at night, find 3 things. Think about it and write it down in your journal and make that a habit that you do every day. That'll keep you to be more positive. It'll help you spiritually. It'll help you emotionally. It'll help you physically. And just begin to think about the things that you're grateful for. Do you have a loving husband? Do you have loving children? Are your children good? Are they not bad? Do you have a loving family? Whatever it may be that you can find that you're grateful for, write those things down and begin to think on those things. Because one thing that scripture says in Philippians is that we're to think on whatever things that are pure, that are honest, that are of virtue, that are of praise, that are of a good report. We're supposed to begin to think on these things because these things help us to grow spiritually. It helps us to grow physically. It helps us to grow emotionally. And so these will also help us to be more content with our life, because if you find something that you're grateful for in your life, something that you see that's positive that's going on in your life, then you'll be able to be more content with your life. You won't have time to focus on others' lives and how they're living and what they're doing, because now you've made it a point that you're going to renew your mind daily. You're going to change your mindset, and you're going to work on the areas of your life that you're dissatisfied with, the things that you can control. The things that you can't control, then you just don't work on those things. You allow God to work on those things and to help you through those things. And so you want to begin to live a life of being more content, because in this day and age, in this time, there's so many people that are trying to, it's like a state of competition and trying to outdo this person or that person. And on social media, you have so much going on where it can cause you to not be content in your life, and it can cause you to be restless, and it can cause you to not be satisfied with the life that you have and desire someone else's. And that's not the way we're supposed to live. We're supposed to be content with the way that the Father desires for us to live, and with the life that He gave us. We're walking our own path, and we have a special purpose just for us. And in order for us to fulfill that purpose, to know what that purpose is, we have to begin to seek the Father for wisdom and to help us to walk in that purpose and to understand how to be more impactful and be used for the purpose that He created us for. And so I hope that this episode has encouraged you. I know that it's kind of short, but this is what the Father gave me. It's been grateful for me today because I've been working a lot on my mindset and growing in my thinking, making sure that I am more positive, making sure that I am doing things in a better way. It was encouraging for me to get these tips and just to, in my private time, my quiet time with the Father, just pouring things into me. And so as He pours into me, I hope to pour it into you all. And I hope that you find these tips helpful. I hope that if you don't know your purpose, or you're struggling in your relationship with God, or you're needing to find some type of balance in your life or help, whatever the case may be, reach out to me and I will definitely make sure to help you in whatever way you need help. And so with that being said, if you have not, go and follow Pampered Thoughts on Facebook and Instagram at Pampered Thoughts, and on Twitter at I Am Pampered. And if, like I said, if you have any questions, if you desire to know your purpose, you're kind of struggling in that area, or you're just struggling in your relationship with God, needing more encouragement or more help or guidance, reach out to me. Send me a DM on Instagram, or you can email me at info@veronicascurry.com. But my Instagram is at Veronica_Scurry. I hope that you all have a blessed week. And with that being said, stay pampered.
Thanks for joining us this week on the Pampered Thoughts podcast. Be sure to visit us at www.pamperedthoughts.com, where you can subscribe to the show on iTunes, Stitcher, or RSS, so you'll never miss a show. You can also check us out on Facebook and Instagram at Pampered Thoughts, and on Twitter at I Am Pampered. As always, subscribe to the show to catch a new episode every week. And if you found value in the show, please leave a rating on iTunes and tell a friend about us. We want to continue to bring you the episodes you love. Thanks again for listening, and until next time, stay pampered.